Hey guys, what's up? Today I thought I'd make a list of my personal favorite vanilla WoW instances and talk about them a little bit. But keep in mind that this list is referring to the instances for how they were in vanilla, and I'm not really talking about any of the Cataclysm or Mist to Pandaria revamps that a lot of these instances went through. Also, in this particular video, I'm focusing more on the leveling instances. I'll probably make another video at some point covering in-game instances and raids. Alright folks, let's get started. Number 5, Deadmines. Alright, so I put Deadmines on this list mainly because of the lore behind it. I just think the whole backstory for the Deathius is like super cool. And I actually have a video planned where I'll go over the lore behind Edwin Van Cleef and the Deathius because it's pretty crazy how everything happened. But basically his guild was supposed to get paid to rebuild Stormwind, and after they rebuilt it and went to collect their payment, they basically got completely fucked by the council. And so Edwin and the Deathius went into hiding to plan their revenge. So I've always sympathized with him a little bit. Even though it's hard to, because he did kill a lot of innocent people who weren't really involved in any of that. But I'd say in that scenario, the quote-unquote heroes sent from Stormwind to kill him are the antagonists. Other than that, there are some pretty fun fights, and I had a lot of fun running that instance as a low-level Alliance player. Number 4, Ragefire Chasm. Okay, so a lot of you know that my first character was Alliance because I played a Paladin. I really wanted to play Horde because I thought the races and the lore were just so fucking cool, but I always played a Paladin when I used to play Dungeons & Dragons with my friends from school, so I just really wanted to roll a Paladin. Well, I decided to roll a Horde alt while I was still leveling my Paladin, and I sort of just started leveling both of them. And my Horde character was a Tauren Warrior. And I was still kind of new to figuring out all the roles in WoW, but I figured out pretty fucking quick that I basically had to tank as a warrior. So I met a guy named Neck Snapper, and he sort of showed me the ropes for tanking, and we would run Ragefire Chasm together even after we completed the quests just to practice tanking. And he was pretty patient, even though I kept making like noob mistakes since I was new to it. So he was like my first WoW friend, you could say. But every time I run Ragefire Chasm, I just always think back to the days I was learning how to tank in there, and I just had so much fun in there. Number 3, Shadowfang Keep. I really enjoyed Shadowfang Keep. I know a lot of you saw the lore video I made on it, just because I've always been extremely interested in this dungeon. The boss fights are really fun, and even the trash mobs are really cool. I always thought the Worgen just had a pretty cool story behind them. You can get a ring that drops from the last boss, and you get the blue ring from the Sepulture quests, and you can wear that ring for a while before it needs to get replaced, so it's a really good dungeon to run while you're leveling. It also has like a really cool art style, and even that loading screen is eerie as fuck. Still gives me the creeps sometimes, honestly. I used to love the level bracket where I could run this dungeon just because some of my favorite encounters are here. Number 2, Zul'Farrak. Okay, so I absolutely love ZF. I love all the bosses and quests. I loved the experience of farming the mallet and finally getting to kill Gazrilla. I also thoroughly enjoyed the Sergeant Bly quest and killing off the trolls that were trying to make their way up the steps to that temple. It was really just an epic experience, and you felt like a badass when you were fending them all off. The only complaint I have about that instance is those fucking graves. I always got so annoyed when fucking idiots would open up the graves and spawn mobs for a couple worthless gray items, and they would keep on going to each grave, and they just kept doing it, and it's so fucking stupid, you know? I used to rage so much at that, but literally everything except that was fantastic, and ZF, regardless of that, was all around just a great experience for me. Number 1, Scarlet Monastery. Okay, so the reason Scarlet Monastery is number 1 on this list is because the lore for it is just so expansive and crazy. The Scarlet Crusade lore is another video I have planned for the future. There's enough there to make multiple videos about it really, and I might have to do that. But I just remember running the armory on my Paladin, and when those shoulders dropped from Harad, I about shit myself, dude. I thought they looked so cool, and I felt like that's when my character really started coming to life, and I got the attachment to it. The graveyard was okay, but I wasn't a huge fan of the graveyard. but the library, armory, and cathedral were fucking fantastic. I had a blast, and I reran a lot of them even after completing all the quests, and even though armory was really the only one that had loot that I needed, I just thought all the boss encounters were super cool. Another thing I really enjoyed about Scarlet Monastery was the art style. Just like Shadowfang Keep, it has a fantastic art style. I just think the whole building looks beautiful, and it was really cool to go in there and just tear through mobs and complete those quests. So all in all, I'd have to say that Scarlet Monastery is by far my favorite WoW leveling dungeon from vanilla. Alright, so that's my top 5 vanilla World of Warcraft leveling dungeons. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, I have a couple more lore videos on the way for those of you who are interested. So feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, or let me know what dungeons you think should be on this list, or maybe should be taken off. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and see you next time.